To make the best use of the session, I suggest you do two things. Number one, go through my theory session on legal reasoning. The link to the session is given on the description below. Second, create a free sign-up account on our website and solve the exercise on your own before you go through the video. The process for the free sign-up is also given on the description below. Now that you would have done both the things, let's start the class. Hello students, let's solve passage 2 of sample 2. So very short passage, very short article, just 2 paragraphs. All right, and it talks about surveillance. So in Govind versus State of Madhya Pradesh, the constitutionality of the Madhya Pradesh police regulation was challenged on the grounds that police visits to a suspect's home, which is visit to a suspect's home would be domiciliary visits, monitoring of a suspect's movements and home picketing were a violation of the fundamental rights. Ghar ke bahar khada hona, picketing, fundamental rights to free movement under Article 19(1)(d) of the Constitution, and the right to life and personal liberty under Article 21. Govind was a convicted criminal who had been marked for surveillance simply because of his criminal record. Surveillance means when you're monitoring the activities. Phone tap kar sakte ho, usko piche dekh sakte ho, that is called surveillance. Okay. Okay, so this is what has happened in Govind case, and the Supreme Court in that case ruled that mere conviction in a criminal case does not warrant any form of, now this is important guys, any form of surveillance. So anything that comes under surveillance, that should not be allowed only because that person was convicted earlier, where there is nothing else that gravely imperils public safety. Only when public safety is at stake can you have a form of surveillance. Otherwise, just because उसने पहले कोई convict किया था, पहले कोई crime करा था, you can't, can't have him surveilled. That is what this says, the ruling says. Domiciliary visits and picketing by the police can only take place where there is a clear case of danger to security, public safety. और ये दो चीजें कब हो सकती हैं? When there is a clear case of danger to security. These should not be conducted in cases of routine follow-up after conviction or at the whim of a police officer. So simple passage. No form of surveillance unless there is a danger to public safety. Let's look at the questions. Okay. Mangesh lives in Bangalore and has been arrested a few times in the past for petty offences like pickpocketing. So he has been convicted earlier. He claims to have changed his way and now runs a small trading business. He was visiting Mumbai recently on work, and while he was in Mumbai, the police followed him. The police following him is a form of surveillance to ensure he did not commit any crime while in the city. Would Mangesh succeed if he filed a case claiming the Mumbai police violated his fundamental rights? Yes, because the ruling said, this is what the ruling said, right? Does not warrant any form of surveillance unless there is danger to public safety. In this case, there was no danger to public safety. So yes, his fundamental right is violated. So no to out ho jayega. Look at the rationale for yes, public safety. This is not the case. This is the answer which uses the principle given in the passage, which means there was no threat to public safety. So this is the correct answer. Let's look at the next one. All right. Rita is a member of a religious organization that has often been involved in communal riots in the past. Rita herself has been suspected of inciting such riots in the past, but has never been convicted. The day before the Supreme Court was to pronounce a judgment on a very important case involving religious issues, Rita made a public statement to the effect that she and her organization would burn the city to the ground if the decision was not rendered in favor of the parties from their religion. So is there a danger to public safety? There is, yes. The night before the Supreme Court, also because in the past, her organization is suspected of, inciting riots. So इसलिए नहीं कि सिर्फ बोल दिया, उसका past record भी वैसा है. So there is definite danger to public safety. The night before the Supreme Court decision, the police stationed 2 constables outside her home. These constables are replaced in shifts and the police remain outside her home for the entire day of the Supreme Court pronouncement. Rita claims the police have violated her fundamental rights. Will she succeed? No. Why? Because there was a danger to public safety. So no answer hoga, to yes to out ho gaya. No, since the day of the Supreme Court judgment was fraught with communal tension. No. No, since her statement showed that there was a possibility of threat to public safety. Always use the principle given in the passage. So this is the correct answer.
right? So this is the correct answer. Let's go to the next question. There was a danger to public safety. Okay, next question. Which of the following, if true, would be a strong argument opposing the decision in the Govind's case? So what happened in the Govind's case? This was the decision, that a mere conviction in a criminal case does not warrant any surveillance where there is nothing that gravely imperils public safety. जब तक public safety को danger नहीं है, surveillance करने की जरूरत नहीं है, just because a person is convicted. Now, which would be a strongest argument to oppose this decision? Which means it has to weaken this decision. Look at A. The police often monitor the movements of past convicts when they do not have any other leads. So this is not a strong argument against the case. This is saying police के पास कुछ करने को नहीं है, इसलिए कर रहे हैं और इसलिए करते रहना चाहिए. This doesn't make sense. Records show that once a person is convicted of an offense, they are highly unlikely to commit another offense. एक बार किसी ने offense करके convict हो गया, the person will not commit another offense. So if that is the case, then there is no requirement of surveillance. So this is not weakening the argument. The argument, the judgment was no surveillance is required. So if we have to oppose this, we have to prove, we have to give an argument that no, we need surveillance. So पहला वाला कुछ नहीं कह रहा है, second वाला बोल रहा है कि surveillance की अब जरूरत ही नहीं है. Look at D. The government should not place any restriction on the fundamental rights of citizens. So फिर तो surveillance होनी नहीं चाहिए because freedom to movement है. So this also is not saying कि we need surveillance. Look at C. Conducting surveillance on a person ensures that they would not commit an offense against public safety. So if you do this, you can guarantee that they would not commit an offense against public safety. Not a very great argument, but if you compare the other three choices, this is the only one which is actually putting some case forward that what is the importance of surveillance, what is the positive of surveillance. तीनों choice बाकी तो कुछ भी नहीं कर रहे हैं. इतना बढ़िया आंसर नहीं है, but of the lot, this is the only one which is in support of surveillance. So this becomes the correct answer. 2.3, C is the correct answer. Let's go to the next question, 2.4. Munir discovers that the police have been tapping his phone. So this is the form of surveillance and listening to all his conversations for the past year. He challenges the police's actions and claims that they have violated his fundamental rights. The police claim that Munir is a known criminal. So if it's a known criminal, court ka ruling tha, it doesn't warrant. Okay. And that the Govind case did not cover phone tapping, but only picketing and domiciliary visits. Now look at what did the case said. Mere conviction in a criminal case does not warrant any form of surveillance. It includes everything that could come under surveillance. So therefore, this also comes under surveillance, and therefore the police will not succeed because of the answer B. Any form of surveillance bola tha us judgment mein. All right. Last question. Pallavi is arrested on the suspicion of causing grievous bodily harm to her husband. Zor ka mara hoga. Pallavi claims that her husband was abusive and that she hurt him in self-defense. Okay, her lawyers plead for her to be released on bail awaiting the trial. The judge grants bail but imposes a condition for the bail, which is that Pallavi must report to the police station nearest to her house every week. Pallavi claims that this condition violates her fundamental rights and would amount to surveillance by the police. Will she succeed? See, this is not restricting her movement, this thing. And this is not monitoring her movements. She has to come on her own and just tell her that, okay, present, aaj main yahan par aa gayi. So only that thing is required, but nobody is monitoring her movements. So surveillance means when someone is monitoring your movements. In this case, that has not happened. So reporting to a police station is not a form of surveillance, and therefore she will not succeed. And the correct answer is B. So with this, we end this passage. In my next class, I'll solve the next passage. You can do it before that, because as I said, you have a free sign-up account. Just go to our website, have your own free sign-up account, and there are over 2,000 questions to practice, guys, free of cost. So do that. And before my next class, it will be more productive if you have already attended the question or the passage in the test form. So see you in my next class. Till that time, all the best, and all the best for your CLAT preparation. Bye-bye.
We at Mentors Capital have curated the best test series for you. We can confidently claim that our test series is best in the market. So go and see it for yourself. Remember, coaching kahin se bhi. Test series from Mentors Capital.